All right, there we go. So introduction, I'm Aaron Smith, Business Intelligence Program Manager in Community Services at Washoe County. Today, I want to introduce a potential tool that could allow Truckee Meadows agencies to view and plan to each other's right-of-way projects. We won't be making a decision today, like John said. It's only to discuss and establish a vision and determine feasibility. And I'll follow up with a questionnaire to this meeting, and that way we can determine if we should move forward with development. So if I can, I'm just going to share my screen real quick so you guys have a visual of what an example is. So this comes out of Seattle, and it's a way for Seattle agencies to coordinate project planning in the right-of-way buried assets. They go as far as showing where there's going to be events, filming, and all sorts of street closures. But I want to focus on coordinating different construction activities. So in this example, you could filter by date and construction project type. And then there's advanced features to where you can actually set up a radius of searching and then set up alerts so that if there's something in an intersection that somebody plans to or puts into the system, you can get alerted. So this is generally kind of what I'm thinking, to where, you know, if Tumwa is going to open up a street to replace their pipes, can we use that as an opportunity for replacing electrical, sewer mains, whatever else is in there, maybe an opportunity to do sidewalks as well. So that's kind of the basis of the project, but the real value of it is because it's regionally significant. We all have the similar goals, and we want the same outcomes. We want to maximize the value to our stakeholders, citizens, and customers. And this would potentially allow us to do that by minimizing the number of pavement openings, reducing construction-related impacts, so traffic times, traffic delays, and then mostly minimizing project costs. The Seattle example, they stated that they were able to save $7 million in the first year. If you adjusted that by population for us, it'd be about 880,000. So just rough numbers to think about. But in order to do this, the agencies would have to collaborate in inputting potential and planned projects, consulting the map during the planning process, and reaching out to other agencies for collaboration and keeping those projects up to date. So there would be some key process workflows that we would have to implement in order to get this working. So it would take a little bit extra time, but it could potentially have a value add. So that's kind of what we want to discuss today is what value would it create, and what are the pitfalls, what could it cost? If we don't keep the plans up to date, is it useful? Is it current? Do we have a long enough planning horizon for it to be useful to others? Is the cost of this process more than it's worth, essentially? So some rough numbers on developing the tool. I estimated it'd be about 25,000 to set up and then kick off, and then ongoing costs of about 14,000 a year. So pretty rough numbers, but if we can actually get to the 880,000 savings, that's real minimal. So I'll kind of open it up to the group and see if anybody has an appetite for this or sees a benefit of this. Is it something, do you guys see any problems with it, or any, huge things? Has this ever been discussed in your departments or internally as a group? John, Mr. President, you want to, have you guys discussed it all, coordinating with other agencies?
John Walker, City of Sparks. currently, some of the collaboration we've done is really simple. You know, sending data over to Jeremy Smith for regional as part of his analysis he does for the regional plan. I do have a question for you, Aaron. So to answer your question, no, we haven't discussed it, you know, to the level you brought to our attention. But what immediately pops in my mind is we do have a regional utilities committee, which includes Tumwa. Levi, do you know who's on there for Tumwa?
Sorry, I was muted. I believe it's Steve Bulk.
Okay, it's Steve Bulk, and we've got Bob Schricker and Amber Sosa here for the city of Sparks. And so they meet very often to coordinate regional projects when it comes to streets, Aaron. So, you know, I think that might be an avenue we might need to discuss, just to, you know, to see what their thoughts are. Because from the regional standpoint, you know, it could be something that we could maintain and do the app sort of thing. But I think they would be the #1 player in a project like this, or of this magnitude, even on small scale. They kind of handle all the coordination. For instance, if City of Sparks is going to be repairing a road, they coordinate with the water authority. And so there's a bunch happening there before the pavement gets laid down to see if there's anything that needs to be replaced. So exactly what you've discussed, but I think we really should involve them, or we might have to go that avenue.
Okay. Yeah, great point. So the reason we brought it to this committee, because it has a data set that's regionally significant, but it sounds like these activities are already taking place, is what I'm hearing. And we need to approach those people to see if this is a tool they could use. So the people in this call would be potentially the people who would be entering the data or using the data or developing it. Is there any notes on that side? Is there any hurdles that you don't think we could overcome?
John Walker, City of Sparks. It's something that I hadn't really put a lot of detailed thought into. You know, it's always crossed my mind, some of these regional projects. So in Sparks example, if they do a new project, say outside my office on Prater Way and 4th Street here in Sparks, what I would end up getting at the end of the project is the as-built drawings to see how our utilities have changed underground, and then we would update the City of Sparks GIS database. So that's just for our agency, and I think Levi has a similar process. Maybe, you know, they're not simple processes, but he does have a process for when they do some capital improvement projects that are regional. They update their data on their side as well, and I believe City of Reno probably has some sort of process as well as regional transportation. So, you know, I think it's a great idea, but I think we probably need to do a little more discussion with maybe the regional utilities group to see what their thoughts are.
Okay.
Yeah, this is Quinn at Washoe County. I want to thank Aaron for bringing this to the group. I think this is the exact kind of thing that this group should be contemplating. And I also agree that obviously the stakeholders, you know, the utility folks should be involved. But having said that, we or our teams are the ones who will be likely managing the data, likely doing the data maintenance, implementing the system if we go forward with it. And we, as Washoe County, would support doing this, and also could potentially host the application and the data connectivity. I think, you know, with all the newer web-based mapping technologies, we should be able to, even if our data sets are separate, we should be able to make connections and make all this stuff work together. It's not as hard as it used to be to make these systems work. So I'm all for it, and I'd love to support this And that's exactly what this committee is about moving forward.
Great, thank you, Quinn. John Walker again. To sort of solidify what Quinn said, yeah, we could, for the utilities in Sparks, which we handle the storm, the sewer, and effluent pieces, we would be able to host the services here, and Quinn could consume them from the Washoe County side for the app, that sort of thing. Aaron, are you thinking about any of the paver data as well as part of this project? Or are you only thinking underground utilities?
Well, so paver comes into it because that affects the cost of the project, right? Okay. So the PCI of that street itself, is going to affect, which projects you tackle, right? Because you don't want to open up something that was just paved, or those have an impact. But more or less of just knowing where other agencies' projects are going to be. So having a map vision for the regional coordinating of those things. So the people in that committee who are talking about what projects are coming up, what they can coordinate on, having a visual tool for them to make that process easier or more efficient.
Okay, yeah, and coming from Sparks, I think this is something we could support from the Sparks side, and then be a part of the project. And if we could get buy-off from the regional utilities coordination group, and it'd be something they're interested in, well, we would support it. Let's just put it that way, but maybe we approach them and just, you can give them a brief, we do a brief presentation or something with them. But otherwise, I still think it's a good value if we had a regional application that kind of showed some of this stuff either way, Sure. So I kind of like it.
Okay.
Any other discussion?
This is Levi. I just wanted
the
to...
City of Reno. I'm in agreement. I think it's a great application, and we're definitely moving more toward regional collaboration. We're working on a strategic plan that has collaboration is a big part of that. So I'm in agreement as well. Right now, our budget's a little constrained, so maybe moving forward right away is not such a great idea. But in the near future, hopefully that situation changes. And we definitely have to get Public Works involved. And I think a brief presentation to utilities and Public Works is a great idea.
Okay, Levi, thank you, Eric. Levi?
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Levi Kleiber, Truckee Meadows Water Authority. Just want to throw my support behind this too. I know a lot of us have discussed something along these lines for many years now. And I think that there's a lot of value, even though, if any of you've seen any of our latest board meetings, Danny actually did a really good presentation on some of the street and highway and main replacement projects and how we prioritize those things. And we still largely follow sewer and street jobs from you guys. Yeah. There are a few occasions where we have to go outside of that, but it's really proving to be a steady, pace in terms of replacement. And obviously it, helps with cost and stuff, not having to cut into a new street or, share those costs. So yeah, definitely support that. I think we have some things to do on our side from a technology perspective to be able to support this. As well as we would probably need to be a participating agency in the Basemap committee to participate in this program. So just wanted to verify that as well.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Levi. Gary, I believe you raised your hand.
You're on mute, Gary.
Right, I have a slow finger. I don't have a trigger finger there. Thank you. Let me put my hand down here. Okay. I'm just curious. This is Gary from Washoe County.
Sorry about being late.
Okay, whoever that is. John, you mentioned the members of the Regional Utilities Committee. Could you state those members again? Because did I hear somebody was from Washoe County is on that committee or not?
Yeah, I believe there's somebody on Washoe County, but I
Okay.
don't know the contact right now. It's something I could get for you from Amber Sosa, our
Okay, thank
transportation
you.
manager.
Great. Thank you. That's all.
Okay, well, I think we're all in agreement that this would be a pretty good project, you know, moving forward. And if we could maybe develop some of these ideas a little more, I think we could, you know, maybe make some progress on this, Aaron. So unless there's any other discussion, we can move on to item number 6.